Welcome once again to another edition of Shelf Life Book Reviews Online. As always, I thank you for taking the time to watch this video review. Hopefully you will find it informative, and when you go out and make your book selections, you will add these two fiction titles that I'm about to review for you to your collection. The very first book is Notes on an Execution by DANYA. This is published by William Morrow, and it retails for $34.99. It is a very interesting book. It is a serial killer thriller, but unlike most mystery serial killer books, we know who the killer is. In fact, we find out very early that he is on death row awaiting his execution. But as the book, as the story reveals itself, we find out how he got to that stage and what happened in his life. We meet his mother early. Her name is Lavender, and she's just a teenager, and she's married to a very abusive man named Johnny. She gives birth to Ansel, that's his first name, last name Packer, and the husband is horrible. He keeps her pretty well, almost chained to the house. She can't go out. He locks the food up, so he only gives her so much, along with her new child Ansel, and it becomes a very horrific situation. The boy does not know a lot of love. Like, she gives him as much love as she can. The father is just a horrible man. And when Ansel is 3 years old, he begins to mutilate and kill very small animals. So he learns at an early age what hate and violence is all about. So Lavender does have another child, and one day she finally convinces Johnny to, go for a ride somewhere so she can get out and see the world. He leaves very young Ansel with his baby brother, and so they go to various places. Now, she manages to escape and to call the police because she has to get away from this man. So we later find, as Ansel grows, he has a very deviant behavior, and he is a serial killer. He kills, it details in the book 3 women that he has killed. It's their backstory too, what they wanted out of life and how their life was snuffed. And it also follows their families as they had to deal with the pain of losing their children when their bodies were discovered many years later. There's also a New York police investigator, Saffron Singh, who meets Ansel at an earlier age, and she's sort of kind of enamored with him. But as we find out, she learns the truth behind the man, and she is on the hunt for him. So it becomes a very complex sort of psychological tale, how everybody got to that stage and how Ansel finally ended up on death row. We count the hours down through the book as he awaits his ultimate execution. So it's a very tense story. It's very well written. DANYA has really crafted an excellent book. So if you're looking for a different kind of book that's not a who's the killer, but you know the killer, but we find out how he got to that stage and what happened in his life and how it affected everyone around him. So take note of the book Notes on an Execution, because it's definitely one that you should add to your collection. Book number 2 of note is I Know You by MCGOWN. This is published by Thomas and Mercer, and it retails for $23.95. This is a very interesting book. It's told over a stage of 20 years. It first looks at the life of a girl by the name of Casey Adams, who is a nanny. And she is looking after a family. There are 5 people, husband, wife, and two children and a baby. And as the story plays out, she comes to Los Angeles, and the mother has all these aspirations of fame and stardom. But what the book gets down to is the fact that the whole family, except the baby, is murdered. And Casey Adams who finds the bodies. She picks up the knife, and of course that means her fingerprints are on the knife, and she's covered in blood too because she touches the people. She's not sure what happened, so she goes to jail. She's convicted. It's not much of a trial. She's basically railroaded, but within 5 years there's an appeal, and she is set free. So she leaves, and she goes to England, and she coincidentally she's walking through the woods, and she stumbles upon a body. The woman is Anna Devine, someone who she knows, someone who she had a horrible argument with not too long before. Now, her past, she is now known as Rachel Caldwell, and her past as Casey Adams is gone. Nobody knows where Casey Adams disappeared to, but this is the new incarnation as Rachel Caldwell. So she does not call the police that she found a body. She's walking her dog, and but somehow her scarf drops there, and there is a knife that was used to kill the woman is found not too long after by the body. So of course she is a suspect, and only when people start investigating a little more fully do they realize that Casey Adams and Rachel Caldwell were the same person. So obviously they think she has a murderous side to her. Now, she did have a fight with the woman, Anna Devine, because she was with the woman's estranged husband. So it's very complex in places, and you really at times wonder whether she is actually the killer, because she seems like a nice enough character, but there's also a dark side. There's a lot of secrets in her life, and that has made her the person she is today. The secrets that she has had to put behind her to function in today's age. So it's really you will like I Know You, because it's so different, totally different, of course, from the first book. But we find out there's a very interesting twist at the end that involves her. I'm not going to give it away, of course. I'm not going to spoil it. But let's just say it's a fascinating book. So those are the two books that you have to select from, and I hope you'll seriously consider the both of them, because they're definitely recommended reading. So thank you for listening to and watching my Shelf Life book review, online review. Too many words here. So as always, I welcome your feedback. Please do send your comments, positive and negative. And I thank you for taking the time. So until we meet again, stay safe, stay sane, stay social distancing, and do stay in touch. See you again real soon. Bye for now.